Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Monday, the 10th. Hey, we got a video coming out today, so make sure you check out that video. I finally got it done. Good morning, Win. Bunch of stuff to talk about today, but let's go into the chart, shall we? Where is it? Which one is? Oh, here it is. Daily 60. There we go. Okay, so Friday. Recall that on Friday we had our big. Well, hold on. Is my data not showing it? No, we had the 7th. Was yeah, okay. It looks like I kind of missed. It looks like I kind of got my data screwed up again. Should we fix it? I think we should fix it. Yes, I would like to continue. There we go. Anyways, so on Friday we had the jobs report. It was a huge miss, but then we went and looked at the data and we said, hey, actually the number of jobs created was pretty good, and it was the seasonal adjustments that made the number look so bad. The larger news media did not pick up on this. In fact, I'm still seeing everybody's talking like the jobs report was really bad. But does the market say that the jobs report is really bad? I say no. Now, some people think that it's because the Federal Reserve is going to continue to have stimulus. Well, I think that probably plays into it too, but all of the big Wall Street analysts were saying, hey, the number was not actually that bad. It's just seasonal adjustments. So that's what I'm running with. You can see here the treasuries. Treasuries had a big move up initially, but they retraced almost the whole thing. They still look tilted to the upside though. So meanwhile, in commodities land, oil. So oil, actually think the oil should be a little bit higher than that. Well, there's a big pipeline in the Northeast that has been shut down. So we'll talk about this a lot today, I think. Big deal. It's really increasing the price of gasoline. We'll see if oil changes. Then over in silver and gold, they had a pretty good day on Friday, and it looks like they're continuing their uptrend. Copper, meanwhile, just continues to be like, wow. Now, I remember when $4 was like big, right? So, whew, already almost to $5, and I'm starting to wonder, like, how much legs does this thing have? Like, we missed the 25% rise in the commodity. We could be in this, and I'm wondering if I should be in this now. Or is it the upside? I don't know. I mean, it's a difficult one for me because I don't see these inflation pressures subsiding for now. And it's not just the copper either. Like so we come back over here and look at the dollar. So the dollar was down big on Friday. It's getting pressured, but they're not below 90 yet in the dollar. Okay, so these commodities are going without the dollar. We're going without the dollar, and it's just like across the board. So when we come back over to here, where is it? Where's our market analyzer? There it is. Coming back over to the main chart, you can see like oil's up, copper's up. I guess corn is a little bit down. Corn and soybeans not doing as well today. So, but. And then there's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, oh man. Well, we can't really see it there on this chart. In this chart, everything just looks like hunky-dory. They did increase going after that big jobs number. They did make a run for 60K in the weekend, and then now they've come right back. We should come and look at CoinMarketCap. Of course, the big event over the weekend was that Elon Musk was going to be on Saturday Night Live, and everything that I've read says that it was a dud. Big dud. So they went into the 40s for a time. They're at 50s, which actually isn't too bad, but like they were up at 70, right? So pretty big decline for the Dogecoin. Ethereum has just been on a tear though. I kind of got to wonder how much Ethereum has in it. I don't know if now is the great time for Ethereum, but man, in the future, next run, I think that's where you want to be, right? Garlic coin not doing too bad either, back up at 15 cents. It's not as nice as what it was like at 30 cents at one point, right? It's at 30 cents, right? Let's see here. Let's go. 1 month. Yeah, it was up at 30 cents at one point. But hey, like that's not bad. They might get back up there soon. So we'll see. Kevin says Dogecoin dropped because Saturday Night Live is the unfunniest stuff I have ever seen, especially the Gen Z part. You know, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I honestly didn't watch it. I honestly didn't watch it. In fact, when it was like when people were showing parts on TikTok and other places, I scrolled by. It was like boring. Yeah, well, whatever. I think that it was going to be down either way. I think it was probably going to be. Remember, what did I say? I said, hey, at 61, I want to go short Dogecoin and we'll see where it goes. Well, I don't know if it would be worth the risk reward, but I was right. By the way, coming in here and looking at the treasuries this morning, I mean, the 5 and the 10 haven't gone too far. But that 30 looks like it wants to push. Looks like it wants to push, yeah? Let's turn on the chat. You know what I'm more interested in, though? I am more interested in this cybersecurity issue. So, pipeline down because of a ransomware application. And I'm hearing whispers that it was the Russians. Like whispers like on Zero Hedge, to be clear. I wish I had like the inside track on that sort of thing, but I don't. Zero Hedge says, here's how everything bubbles pop. That could be interesting. The issue that we continue to see is that, man, I'm all over the place, aren't I? On the inflation thing, I continue to see everything move up, but I don't see CPI move up. When is CPI? Well, we should come and look at what's on dock for the news this week, shall we? We don't really got anything today. Okay, so CPI is Wednesday. CPI and then PPI. Love that they're doing CPI first. We got the auctions this week. Core retail sales on Friday. Tuesday, we got a big slate of Fed speakers and JOLTS jobs openings.
YouTube Finance says we blew that Sika pipeline.
Oh, you used the wrong. I think that's because you used the capital U. Oh, yeah, Zero Hedge says USD has been in free fall ever since Goldman covered its USD short a month ago. No, the pipeline. So it's interesting to me if it's Russians doing it. That's like straight up acts of war, yeah? That we need to declare cyber war against Russia? Because that's what seems like is going on. Wonder what are the security related subreddits saying about it. I doubt they would do so. Yeah, I doubt that Congress has the balls to do something like that. And I don't know if it's necessary. I'm just kind of going, what's the craziest thing I can say, I guess. But it seems to me though that that's what's happening, even if they don't call it. Yeah. Am I wrong? Even if they don't call it that? Last month, they hacked a water filtration system in Pinellas County. This month, the oil line, it is concerning Russian, have been a troll farm factory for years now. Not much to do minus vodka. Well, it does kind of make you wonder what they're accomplishing, but I think it is just kind of part of this larger thing. Nope. I got so many people asking me on Discord, hey, do you need a promoter to promote your Discord? No, we don't. We're the largest free futures focused Discord on the internet, and we don't need anybody to promote us. Certainly not going to pay for that. Certainly not going to pay for that. Anyways. So I'm just kind of taking in a lay of the land. The treasuries have moved a decent amount. They've been up and down 4 ticks already in the first 10. I guess it's been 15 minutes. So I guess it's not super great, but they looks like it's going to be a fairly quiet day so far. I am getting maybe some hints that we could have some opportunities in the treasuries, though. The reports I heard today indicate this is a great gangster Russian hackers who are after ransom companies have been caught up in this for a while. Yeah, but well, let's see here. Where did I get it? Russian hack. Let's search. Tools past 24 hours. Okay, well, let's see what Reuters says about this. The ransomware group linked to the extortion attempt that has snared fuel deliveries across the U.S. East Coast may be new, but that doesn't mean its hackers are amateurs. Who precisely is behind the disruptive intrusion into Colonial Pipeline hasn't been made officially known, and digital attribution can be tricky, especially early on in an investigation. A former U.S. official and 2 industry sources have told Reuters that the group DarkSide is among the suspects. Read more. Cybersecurity experts who have tracked DarkSide said it appears to be composed of veteran cybercriminals who are focused on squeezing out as much money as they can from their targets. They are very new, but they are very organized, Lior Div, the chief executive of Boston-based security firm Cyber Reason, said on Sunday. It looks like someone who's been there and done that. DarkSide is one of a number of increasingly professionalized groups of digital extortionists with a mailing list, a press center, a victim hotline, and even a supposed code of conduct intended to spin the group as reliable if ruthless business partners. Experts like Div said DarkSide was likely composed of ransomware veterans and that it came out of nowhere in the middle of last year and immediately unleashed a digital crime wave. Sean Dietzer says they're retaliating from Biden's sanctions. That could be. Ransom software attacks work by encrypting victims' data. Typically, hackers will often offer the victim a key in return for cryptocurrency payments that can run into the hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. If the victim resists, hackers are increasingly threatening to leak confidential data in a bid to pile on the pressure. DarkSide's site on the dark web hints at their hackers' past crimes, claims they previously made millions from extortion, and that just because their software was new, that does not mean that we have no experience and we came from nowhere. Anything that messes with oil supply, private entity, financial motive has got to be the reason why. I don't know. the question that I have in my mind is how is the U.S. government going to let's just put aside the question about whether or not it was Russians or not. I saw some stuff on Zero Hedge that kind of suggested that it was Russians, but I wouldn't trust them on this sort of a thing. You know what I mean? Like they get to play up that whatever kind of hype angle they can. This article here kind of suggests that the group is something else. That they're not related to a government entity. But it's entirely possible to be both. Okay, so a good little up move there in the treasuries. You see the 30-year trying to track it up, so it looks like a little bit of flattening going on in the curve between, well, actually across the curve. Looks like across the curve a little bit of flattening. If there's foul play, somebody is trying to make a profit in the markets. Anyways, I wonder, this is a serious issue. If your infrastructure is getting taken down by cyber criminals, it's bad enough if it's the Russians, but if it's just cyber criminals, I'm going to blow my nose here really quick. We've known for years that our systems are vulnerable. Yeah, that's true too. So I'm seeing that's something we need to read about. Let's see here. I want to search for cyber security Trump. Okay, so here's a fire. Okay, I remember when Trump fired the head of election cybersecurity. Trump's legacy on cyberspace policy. That was from December. Or blow your nose and then order some handkerchiefs. Everything is going to get more expensive, including tissues. All right. Again, it's like, man, it seems like the price of everything is going up, but I don't see it in CPI. It's coming. You know what? I'm really concerned about this. I know this is like, I'm so all over the place, but you took me off track, Wayne. It's all, so you blame her. Like, it seems to me that the inflation is here. You are not seeing it in your pocketbook or at the store yet, but it is definitely here, and that it is going to be much stronger than people realize, yeah? Like, the price of lumber is insane, and of course people building houses, they're seeing it. Is the lumber, are we at peak lumber? I'm not so sure. What is gonna ease that? A lot of people are saying that it's just the lumber yards are holding back and pocketing all this profit because of it, which I have seen some empirical evidence to suggest that that's true, although I'm not sure I've seen enough to say that it's confirmed that I'm certain that that's what's going on. But I do see that. And hold on here a second. I'm going to try. Time to potty train baby Asher. He is a boy. Better order cloth diapers when you're... I think he's a long way off from getting potty trained. Anyways, it's going to be the inflation. What I'm potentially seeing going on here, like copper. Copper's the one that really seems alarming to me. Is like, when we get this inflation, it's going to be way harder than we anticipate. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't be transitory. That's still an open question. There's kind of, I don't know, the whole inflation thing is really interesting to game out, because it's not just about whether or not there's inflation. Obviously, we're going to get inflation. So is it going to be transitory or not? That's one question. But then the other question is, if it is not transitory, do we get inflation or do we get stagflation? That's another big question. I think that matters very much to how you play it out, right? Because if we just get inflation and not stagflation, then that could be really, that could be good for stocks, you know? And it could maybe justify stocks continuing to move up and hold the valuations that they have, right? We would come back historically and look at it, and they would say, no, what stocks were pricing in was the possibility that there was going to be inflation, you know, and that the dollar was going to get crushed, and their valuations were correct after, you know, the value of the dollar went down. Not very weak, not a very strong bid at 27, but it is bid. Metals, copper sprints to record high as investors fear missing out. Yeah, I fear missing out on this one, man. But it's already so high. So, like, how far can it go? I need to. Okay, let's write some stuff down here, because we got way too much for me to look at while we're sitting here. Oh, those were my notes on my video. I'm excited about my video that's coming out in an hour here. I put some work into it. Okay. Cybersecurity. Trump. And then we need to look for some stocks on it. Then we need to look up inflation. See what kind of copper targets we've got. Yeah, they got me. They got me. I don't know. Well, yeah, the 30 did come down there. Now, all the metals are going well, but copper is definitely the one that's like, whoosh. There's going to be government subsidies? Oh, man, yeah. Well, like the thing that irks me about all this is like, okay, we have a supply constraints in semiconductors. Okay, we've got supply constraints in lumber. Copper, I haven't heard anything in copper about supply constraints, but just like increased demand, particularly in China. But it's kind of like, hey, you guys, you know that there is an entire branch of economics. Like, there's a whole group of economists and people that study this stuff that just study stimulating the supply chain, right? Like, this is the Republicans' thing ever since Reagan. That's been their thing. And they didn't do anything for the supply side. Did they do stuff for the supply side and I just didn't really pay attention, didn't hear about it? It seems to me like all of the stimulus that was put forward towards the stimulus checks in particular, and maybe small businesses, and that supply chains were not given any stimulus, and so now they're lagging. Although I think we have to question that thesis too, because if they had put more into the supply chain, would it have actually helped? Some of these issues, like the chip shortage are things that you just can't fix overnight, right? Like in order to get those high quality wafers that they have to use for processors and stuff from TSMC, that's my, I need to go and like double verify that, but that's what I remember learning when I worked at the semiconductor factory, was that some of the substrates they couldn't make themselves, and then they came from TSMC. And then I read a line somewhere that said that, and I'm real. Why am I feeling like this over and over again today? Anyways, it'll take them years for them to beef up their pipelines, And especially if they want to have domestic production of it, because all of the I used to work at a semiconductor factory. That factory has been closed for years. In fact, if you go over there, oh man, there's actually, I still see vehicles over there for sometimes. So I don't think it's completely abandoned. I don't think that it's open, but I don't know, somebody does something there. So I do see trucks in the parking lot last time I walked by it. But like the parking lot is like being overgrown by weeds. Like all of the cracks are filled with weeds, and it almost looks like dirt in the parking lot. Like if they reopen it, they're gonna have to completely resurface their park. It's a big parking lot. Like there used to be a lot of people who worked there. Hold on, I need to close the window over here. The Chinese play the long game. They adjusted their supply chain in the 90s. And again, when Trump was talking trade wars, study that at the peril of sleepless nights. Well, listen, the U.S. government tries to play a long game too, but yeah, it's difficult with different presidents. I think there's a bigger issue, though, and I think it's going to be an issue even in a communist country, is like, how well does the leader understand the issue, It seems like if the president is not like a really gung-ho about a particular issue, or they have an advisor that's, that sometimes it just falls by the wayside. And I think that maybe that's what's happened with cybersecurity. See, like here I'm reading this article about President Trump and cybercrime, and I'm not seeing so far like an assertion that there was an investment that they should have made that they didn't, or anything like that. Just that they didn't really help the problem. If you look at this money in this country, it's all in fossil fuels. It has not been in the old money's interest to prepare for the next industry. I don't know why I agree with that. So, the money in the U.S. economy is definitely moved to services. I mean, that was the change that they started in the 70s and really accelerated through the 80s. A lot of the big run that we had in the 90s was based off of more of a service-based economy. When you look at banks, which is a really big portion of the United States sector, even if it's not a huge percentage of the overall economy, it's extremely important to the overall U.S. economy. And that's basically companies providing businesses with financial services, right? And then it's really pushed more towards technology services, and that's what Google and Amazon and Microsoft and all of them have been running up on. Yeah, oil is a pretty big interest, though. It's a pretty big, and it certainly depends on where. In Texas, it's a pretty big deal, right? Oh man, I read this comment somewhere. I think it was on TikTok. This guy, he said that he worked in Texas. I think it was like at a Lockheed Martin pellet plant or something like that. There we go. Very good. Only 826 to take them through there, huh? And they said that they had Japanese investors come through. And the Japanese investors were talking about whether King of the Hill was better with subtitles or dubbed. So apparently King of the Hill is Texas anime for Japanese people. It was funny. Right? Isn't that the funniest thing you've heard today? You got all of these. You imagine these weebs. Oh, people in Japan just don't understand me the way that Texas does. And then they move to Texas and they think everybody's going to talk like it's King of the Hill. They're going to go to Dallas. It's going to be all super liberal and be like, this isn't like what the show was at all. You love that. I never really got into it. It's one of those shows that is kind of like mildly entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just enough to keep you going, but it's not like my favorite show, you know?
YouTube Finance says, hoo, hey Beavis, I am gonna kick your ass, hoo.
That one was pretty good. I did finally get my one tick there, but it was a little. They kind of fought me for it, didn't they? I could put the order back in there at 26.5 and see if they do it again, but I don't think that they're gonna. I think the left overemphasizes the influence that the oil industry has on America, because they think that oil is responsible for all of the planet's problems and this and that. I don't know. It's kind of watching that front. It's not something that I've tracked very closely, but I certainly see the headlines about it and everything. And I just kind of find that thing frustrating because it seems like they're never going to be happy, you know? Sergio Ortega, hi from... You're in Colombia? What do you think about what's going on? Are you safe? Is everything safe over there? I saw all of that video in Colombia. I was quite shocked and disappointed in what that government was doing over there. The Dems are never happy. You're right, Brad. Okay, so the 5-year is pushing down. A 30-year didn't really come back. Which side is going to win? Do you think I'm going to get filled here at 26.5 and they're going to slice right through me? It could be that the right trade here is to sell 158.02. Yep, I live in Medellin. I remember when I was younger and I went to a youth camp and there was some girl there that was from Colombia. And she was from a very wealthy family. And it was really interesting to hear her talk about things. That was a long time ago. That was like 20 years ago. Oof. Yep. 30-year came down. That one was the wrong choice. I shouldn't have even played that one, but I guess I'm bored. What college have you attended? I got a degree. I graduated with a bachelor's of computer science from the University of Utah. They have a very nice computer science program, by the way. Oh, when I go to these other places, when I go to the other universities in the state and I hear about computer science and what they do there, I'm like, what? Like, that's not even, how's that even useful? Nope, did computer science. It looks like the 5-year wants another one. Well, they could drag the 30 down again. Like I said, well, you could sell O2. You still wouldn't be filled at O1 though. So anyways, you say like Democrats are never unhappy. I mean, that's kind of what you've got to do if your whole political party is about being progressive and pushing policy forward. That doesn't mean that there's not some things about the way that the world is that they're happy about. You know what it really comes down to for me? Here's the thing, is I think that when I was younger, that I was deceived a little bit. I think that when I was younger, and I'm talking like the Clinton years. So I can remember the Iraq War, like Desert Storm. I remember that on television. I was like 5 or 6, but my parents always watched the news. We'd always watch the news. And then when the internet came along, that's when I got really into politics in the news, especially when Political came around. I've been reading that since almost the beginning, right? Old school Democrats. I shouldn't say old school Democrats. Okay. Kennedy was a Democrat, seemed like a good guy, seemed like a good president, and did good things for the country. And it didn't seem like to me that he was into all of the dumb things that Democrats do. Okay. And that stuff was around back then too. Everybody kind of thinks that like, oh, it's only recently. No. Like you go back to FDR and even further back, these hyper liberal socialist policies have been around in the United States for a long time. And is a pretty significant factor in why America is where it is today. Like Social Security and Medicare are a big deciding factors about what life is like in the United States. Okay. I wouldn't say that those two programs are awful. I think in particular, Social Security is actually probably a pretty good idea. You force people to put away a certain part of their money into what is essentially a pension. I wish that people had maybe more control over it, but hey, probably something that needs to happen, right? Do a president tier list. I don't know, to put Reagan up there near the top. I don't know, but if I was going to do a tier list, Clinton was not one of those radical left people, right? He was kind of came in and was like, hey, I can be a Democrat president without being like crazy lefto. His wife was crazy lefto, but he wasn't. He wasn't, right? And when you look back at what happened in the United States, of course, it'd be interesting to game out what would have happened if, like if for instance, Newt Gingrich hadn't have been caught or wasn't cheating on his wife and had that going on, because that it seemed really hurt Republican momentum at the time when they were pushing to really clamp down on the budget. And you know what? They did a good job. You know, they say, well, it was because of Clinton, but they left with a surplus. They did a good job. And then Bush came along and ruined it. But Clinton was a good president, actually. when you look at the policies that he did and what he did for the economy, and he wasn't too bad. Now, part of it was because he had a Republican Congress and he decided to turn around and work with that Congress. And I keep thinking, hey, you know, if any president is having a Congress like that and they turn around and they work with them and they do what Bill Clinton did, then they'll be really successful. But the Democrats learned from that and they said, oh, helping the president is good for the country, but it's not good for us. And so we're not going to do it anymore. I think is what happened. Man, I think that the Democrat Party needs to go back towards looking a little bit more like Bill Clinton. That's what I think. That was the whole point of that. Okay, because the Democrat Party, that's the people that are trying to take over the Democrat Party right now, man. I do not like these people. Obviously, we all know what I'm talking about, man. I think it's a little scary, some of the stuff that I'm seeing pushed in the Democrat Party. And when you have guys like Bill Maher, who is like a total leftist wiener, okay, and he's making fun of you, like that, there's something wrong, guys. There's something wrong. Democrat Party, I think, would benefit from getting back to more of the party of the Clintons. It's ironic because you would think that with Clinton, when she ran, that was, you know, the wing of the party that was popular and kind of, but it's not, because the kids aren't into that at all. Yeah, and I just kind of look back on that. It's like, yeah, I think you're all being deceived. They're anti-American. Yeah, it's a little reverse psychology thing, you know. During the Clinton years, I didn't see it as being anti-American. I can see how in the 70s and during like Vietnam, a lot of people would read what leftists would say is anti-American because they just didn't agree with the Vietnam War. I get it. That was like a legitimate argument, all right? But nowadays, it sure seems to me like they push certain ideas just because they're anti-American, doesn't it? Doesn't it? And I feel like that they happened because of like the reverse psychology, that they went along with the Bush years, the war on terror, and regretted it, right? Well, it sure looks like the 5-year wants to drag them down, and the 30-year is getting pulled along with it. The E-mini is joining maybe like 3 or 4 ticks up, but as we've been coming down, I have been seeing pressure in the yen. So if we see the yen tick up a little bit, like back up to there, then maybe we should start buying it again. But you just gotta. I still believe in the American system and the American Constitution. I'll always believe in that. You know, it's really easy to look at what's going on and say, screw it all, it's all lost and this and that. I see a lot of people on the right saying sorts of things like that, and that kind of scares me too. You guys got to get back to the Constitution, okay? I think one of the problems is that a lot of these people that were pro-Trump, they didn't arrive at being pro-Trump because of their belief in America and the Constitution and things like that. I think that a lot of them just got pulled in because of Donald Trump, right? And so you get this group of people that it's not like they would say that they disagree with the Constitution or anything like that, but it's not like ingrained in their bones that, hey, like this is the way that it works, and even if it goes against what we want to happen, that's the way that the system works, and we got to trust the system, you know? The market always dips when the NYSE opens, ruins all the pre-market gains Americans don't know how to hold. Well, I think that what happens is that there's always forced liquidations on the open, right? Hey, thanks for posting the affiliate link there, Win. Yeah, it seems to me that kind of what happens is you get the open, and there's a lot of issues that are down overnight, and the people that held those overnight want to get out of them. And so the buyers know that, and so the buyers kind of hold off and let them sell and then buy the dip. There is something crazy going on though after that, right? Because last week we had several sells, right? Kind of and I think in my opinion, kind of seemingly for no reason. At least there was no direct impetus at that time to say they should be selling. Okay. There's certainly analysts who are suggesting that like we've fully priced things in and that the risks are to the downside right now. Right. But what happens? They sell it. And then you get this crazy retail driven. I don't know if it's retail driven or what, gamma driven, but there'll just be these crazy recoveries all the way back up. Because the downsides are pretty crazy. They're pretty wild when they happen. Okay, so another downtick there. They're still having a little bit of trouble with it, I would say. You're watching Milleria. A wish for peace to the people that corrupt pay for what they are doing in Colombia, soy de Puerto Rico, but I'm watching from Canada. Ah. Well, Canada sounds crazy too. And did you read that story about a pastor got arrested on the roadway and all that? Like they had a church, they dispersed the church, then people came back, and then the police came and arrested the pastor on the highway for inciting people to attend church. And that's in Alberta. That's in the conservative area. I was like, what the heck? I'm seeing puts that are more expensive than calls. Yeah, because the big guys are hedging to the downside. Yeah, zero. I can't think of exactly the headline that I would go and read to go and find the charts, but I've seen several posts from Zero Hedge over the past few days that suggest that the large institutions have been net sellers over the past 2 weeks. And furthermore, that the retail buying craze has very much subsided. Zero Hedge is so bad. Well, they're the ones that got the data that matters. Here's the thing: is that it's not for Zero Hedge that I read it. It's that Zero Hedge reposts the major Wall Street analysts, right? If there is a news story that's going around in the market, and it always seems like it's from a different website. But there are stories that are making waves going around, and Zero Hedge posts it. Most of the stuff that they post, they didn't write. Yeah. Now, all of the political stuff, it seems very tilted to me. It's very much, well, I would say it's right wing, but more so than right wing, I would almost call it fatalist, right? Like they think, the U.S. dollar is gonna collapse and financial doom is on the horizon. They've been saying that for the past 10 years. So you always got to be careful about that, because ultimately what that website is about they don't like the monetary system. They don't like the Federal Reserve. That's what it really comes down to, right? But they post data and they will give you an idea of like what the big trade is that I don't find anywhere else. I just don't find anywhere else. And I've made money from that website. When the Archegos blew up, they knew why. They were talking about the gamma, and they've been following the gamma and explaining it to people. And back when retail traders had no clue what was going on for weeks. Wasn't until long after that, and everybody went and read about how Archegos was doing things, and then retail traders started caring about the gamma and stuff. But Zero Hedge was ahead of the curve on that issue, right? So if you have an alternate website that posts similar kind of stuff that has a different political bent, maybe they're pro-Democrat, but they give you the same quality of information, I would totally be down to read it, but I don't think it exists. I've searched and searched and searched. I can't find it. And you don't get those stories, like the Wall Street Journal and stuff. I don't find as detailed of an analysis. I think the only place that you get this stuff is if you're actually subscribed to the Wall Street analyst firms. And that's thousands of dollars, How does Tyler Durden do it? I think that what happens is people send him in stories and he spends his whole day reposting what other people give him. It's so funny because I remember back in the day, to post 2008, being very anti-zero hedge. I was the person that would go on Reddit and be like, I would be careful about reading zero hedge, But then, and I was like, even though there's, even if you're a Republican, they post a lot of stuff that's BS and they kind of try and scare you. They do. They totally do. Well, I'm surprised that they're coming back for me here. Anyways, but they post the reports. It's great. I should probably pay for like the premium subscription so that I can just get their Dropbox of Wall Street analyst reports. I don't know how they're able to still do that and why they haven't been sued for it, but whatever. Okay, so the 5-year. I think I'm okay to hold this, but it depends on how the next tick down comes. Well, I need to come back here and make sure I have Twitter up. Oh, and I need to make sure that I have Financial Juices talking. I haven't heard anything from them. So like this is a great example here. Here's how everything bubbles pop. But weirdly, irrationally, bubbles pop anyways. At long last, the moment you've been hoping for arrived. You're pitching your screenplay to a producer. Your agent is cautious, but you're confident nobody else has concocted a story as outlandish as yours, and your agent gives you a nod and you're off and running. 2 guys start a cryptocurrency as a joke to parody the crypto craze, and they name it Kitty Coin. It goes nowhere, but the greatest speculative bubble of all time takes off. It's a .com and housing bubble times 100, but in everything, and within a couple months, the entire economy is dependent upon this bubble. And the bubble is dependent upon Kitty Coin, which has shot up 15,000% in a few weeks. A celebrity CEO has been promoting Kitty Coin, is invited to host a failing TV variety show, and now the whole economy depends on Kitty Coin soaring even higher. That's pretty close to what's going on. Okay, but none of this is actual. Yeah, worthless story. Doesn't talk about how it actually pops. Like, what is the thing that triggers it? Doesn't say. Bad news has good legs. I've never heard that before. Ouch. Bank focuses on eliminating older employees and job cuts. Credit Suisse has tacitly acknowledged that clearing out experienced employees can be a bad idea. How are you going to find the money? I get it. Okay, so that was exactly what I didn't want to have happen. So I decided to hold that one out there because I thought, okay, let's see how it plays out and if we can cancel it. But they took it all at once and stacked on me. So that was a bad call. Bad call. I think the 10-year should be selling. It should have been selling a little bit more than it did, but now it kind of balanced out. Jen Psaki says the quiet part out loud about Joe Biden from the Hill. Oh boy. Jen Psaki made a stunning admission in a patently flippant way last week during a conversation with CNN's David Axelrod. The White House press secretary openly admitted that Biden's handlers often tell them they prefer he not speak to reporters outside of controlled setting. Yeah. Any good way to play the ultra short ETFs? It seems like they'll have drags by SRS real estate short ETF is very tempting. Well, my understanding is that those short ETFs are not intended to be played for swings per se. That they're really more short proxies. I don't think that. I'm sorry, they're very much like day trade short proxies. I'm not sure the play really makes sense. Why wouldn't you just come and play the futures? I guess because you believe you have an edge on a particular sector, that you think that real estate is too high. Why not just go and find, the worst in class in that industry and go and short them, and then go and buy the best in class of some other industry that you really like and play and hedge yourself. That I think that would be a much better, risk profile. Yeah. Like you could go and you could sell real estate and you could buy Freeport McMoran because copper is going great. Or who would be a lumber company? I don't know who a lumber company is. That could be one that you could do. Short the biggest real estate company and buy the biggest lumber company. That might be a little bit too localized, because there could be a situation where both lumber and real estate plummet. So maybe copper is a better one. Get what I mean? Like the whole idea of hedging is you want to like expose yourself to like one risk. Like you can do it with an ETF, but you could also just, do it with buying some shares of this and selling some shares of this. Oof. Okay, so they're stacking at 25, trying to squeeze us out, even though the 5-year is not placing a bid or an offer at 13 and a quarter. That, I have not seen that in a while. I guess they did decide to offer out. Okay, so they tick down and there's actually some decent absorption on the back tick. Nope. This is definitely not what you wanted to see. Yeah. Well, it's not going so well for me in the treasury today, is it? I guess I tried playing that spot more than I should have. It was a little bit against the grain. But look, oh, did I lose 2 on that first one? How did that happen? Oh, I know. Suck. That sucks. Can still play the E-mini. Now, I'm not so sure what's going to happen on the E-mini either, because the issue in the E-mini is that the jobs report was actually pretty good, but it looks like that the majority of the market does not realize this yet. Do you see that? Like, all of the conversation was about, oh, the jobless benefits are hurting the recovery. And, well, that's not exactly what the data was saying. I need to get a job at Ark and Fest, says Jack Pappy. Ah, that's funny, dude. Oh, man. They were getting hit, like, even though Ark was up yesterday, they were getting hit hard. Yeah, Ark has been getting slammed. It was like there was a certain part of the day where basically everything that they owned was getting slammed. And Zero Hedge was calling it out. And I'm like, oh, why are they calling it out? But then I realized, like, they must know something. So I'm betting that redemptions were coming in, that people were taking their money out of Ark, and that Ark had to sell a bunch of its names. I started buying it up last week, hoping I was getting in at an advantageous price. I gotta tell you, man, like this whole thing about that she learned from and was kind of employing some of the same strategies that this guy from Archegos was doing, has me awful worried, you know. What price was that at? 25 half. Okay. So the issue that I see over at Ark is, like, you go and you buy Tesla, and then it comes back. So you go and you buy some more. And I ask, are you buying more because the outlook has changed? And I don't think so. If the outlook has changed at Tesla, I don't think it's in a positive way. Right? What is really going on here? You're just riding the execution wave. So there's this whole thing about, like, okay, you can make something move up, and then you can stop other people out, and you can make money off of that, and that sort of a thing. Well, I don't think that people realize how risky of a trade for a large institution that is. Because what if it doesn't work? You buy it up, and then there's nobody there to get stopped out. Guess what? You're caught holding this bag of an asset that you've artificially pumped up. It's going to come back on you, and when it comes back on you, it's going to come back harder than it did when it moved up. And so you net lose money. Like, we know from the way that a limit order book works and the empirical studies about efficient execution and everything, that a strategy of that nature is a poorly designed one. Okay. These hedge funds, they don't make bets like that. They look at the company and they say, what do we think about the company? What is going to drive people to want to buy it or sell it at this time? And, they play it that way. There has to be a fundamental reason why the value of the asset is going to be priced differently. Otherwise, if you're a large enough order, you're just likely to lose money. Even if you're right. And people follow in after you. So it seems to me like what's been happening is Kathy and them have been playing that. Like, she's been putting all of her money into Tesla and has been artificially pumping it up. And it seems like it works because she's like the all-star and everybody's following Archegos and everything. But you just eventually you run into the limits of your execution. You have to put more and more money into it. And so that's where I think you should start to get concerned, is when you see those people having to add money to keep it propped up, right? And then eventually they're going to be forced to sell stuff, and that kind of creates a cascade. So yeah, I personally am not going to touch ARK with a 10-foot pole. No, sir. I don't think she has a clue what she's doing. Nor anybody else at that company. I think they hired a bunch of amateurs, and that they're doing an amateur move. They're doing something that a lot of retail traders think is the reality, but if you actually went and looked at the evidence, it suggests that what they're doing is stupid. McDonald's workers set to strike for higher wages ahead of shareholders meeting. Okay, so here's the open. Getting a little bit of people trying to make some bets just ahead of it. Initial move is down, though. See how bad it is. Hmm. 10-year took a step up there. Didn't really move the 5-year, though. 5-year is still kind of luring out at 14, trying to get filled. Okay, so some significant absorption in the 27 area in the E-mini. There was an initial move up there just before the open. It came back really fast. All the way up to 31. Basically where the open was. Like, I got rid of the alert column over here because it's not. It should be. I'm gonna turn it back on. Oops, wrong one. I can't move it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Still moving down. Maybe possibly seeing some bullishness in treasuries because of that. Well, I think I'm gonna know. Yeah. That probably wasn't a very good pick. So we should note there was pretty good absorption on the open on the buy side, and they flushed through them. ARK is down 3% today? Wow. Is it Tesla? Is it Tesla that's getting hammered? I wonder. That's not how you want to get filled in the treasury there. Okay, so there's that low. They pushed through it and then bounced already. Oh, good uptick. Yes, sir. That's gonna be a fill, I hope. Nope, not yet. They're not getting very many hitting into it. Ouch. Oh, wow, they both went at the same time. That's funny. Okay. Well. Man. It seems to me like they are trying to place a bet on the E-mini here. It sure is aggressive selling, though, man. Okay, there you go. Some new lows. Tepid. Very tepid. Seeing the treasury downticking there at that appears to be coming from the Japanese yen, though. Haven't really seen the dollar move super far yet. If we see some like big bullishness come into the dollar, then I think we could get a really solid flush in the E-mini. But for now, it hasn't happened yet. And they're just kind of chilling down here for now. Now that's curious. The ZB, the knob spread reverting here. So the ZB got slammed there. Oh, they got slammed hard. Oh, look at the NASDAQ is just getting creamed there. You know what? I need to come in and change some settings on this because it's auto center ticks 10. No, it should be like 24. 24. Okay. There we go. Treasury's turning down. So down in here, I didn't see like direct absorption, but the buyers did overwhelm the sellers and turn it up. I didn't really see limit orders taking sides in that battle. Oh yeah, by the way, my video is out. You guys want to go and take a look at that? Let's go find that. So my video this week is going to be a part of a 4-part series where I discuss developing new strategies. So we're talking about research in this video. And I will share the link right here. Copy. That is the link to the new video I've got. So you go give that a watch. Make sure you give it a like. Watch the whole video and give it a like. If you watch the video and you don't watch the whole thing, then it doesn't help the channel. So don't watch it unless you can watch the whole thing. But I think there's some good information in there. There's a lot of things that I've talked about on the stream before, but that I don't think is very common out there in the retail trading space, talking about getting into empirical studies and the scholarly world and things like that. So I think it's a really great video, and it's going to be the first in a 4-part series. So next week we're going to do the execution, writing the strategies bit, which going to be a difficult video to make, but I think I know what I want to do there. And yeah. Okay, so some absorption at 21. I don't know. It looks a little dire there. The treasuries did tick up. Yeah, look at that. It's like, it's right on the edge, but it's holding so far. Oops. Oh, you know what? That is not a flat. That is not what was supposed to happen. Yeah, no fill, but I did have the right idea over here in the treasury. Is E-mini trying to dig it out there? But the treasury's pushing up. Oh, of course. Still seeing this I don't know. So the treasuries have kind of backed off a little bit on their bullishness, but things are starting to look a little bit more dire over here in the E-mini. They're not. They didn't go for it that time, though. They touched the low. They didn't go through it. Pierre says, hi, how are you? Looks like the YM is actually up, though. So the Dow is leading and NQ is lagging. NQ is down big time. Okay, good. What do you mean? I wouldn't say today has been the best day, but it's a Monday, you know. I had a couple of close ones. So like over here in the treasury, you know, it's like on that. Okay. They're able to flip it. But I just get worried about, but then it comes through and they stack on you. Yeah, well, that's the end of that. So I'm going to try playing this little, okay, so that's scratched, right? Yeah, scratch is okay. Oh, what? Okay. So there was a good 5 or 6 tick sweep there in the E-mini. They seem to be holding it okay and not phased too much by it, but we should keep that in mind. Treasuries thick on both sides. So is that order gonna trigger them to go to lows now? It's probably a bad spot. Well, we'll try one more here. YOLO the final YOLO. No. No. I'm just terrible today. Look at this. I'm not getting anything to work, am I? ES looks scary. Well, it's still unclear if they're going to push through that low of the day, though. Good weekend? Oh, yeah, it was a good weekend. It was okay. Mother's Day and everything. Didn't do anything too special, though. I think my issue over here in the treasury, why I'm having problems, is because I'm trying to take trades where there's really not enough flow. Man. It's just slice and dice. It might be like this for us for a while, though. Like, if the market is going to be choppy, you know, we could have these kinds of problems. Because I am trying to get something to run, aren't I? And that's kind of part of the problem. Okay. I don't know, man. It's still the market orders are still tilted to the downside in the E-mini. It sure looks like they could reach a breaking point and this could turn into a real bender of a down day. But continues to just be choppy. Okay, so there's a lot of stops there. A little surprised at how many people are trying to hold it there. There was like a new low, but only by like a tick. You know what happened? I was not watching that right because the micro went 2 ticks further than it was supposed to. But that must mean that the retail traders are trying to buy the dip and a bunch of them stopped out there, right? I don't know. If we push down here again, I see a lot of potential stops. Isn't everybody trying to buy the dip? Yeah, I don't know. Should I be trying to buy the dip here? Seems to me like no matter what I do, I'm not getting anything to run far enough for me. Definitely got a profile here. Now, buyer's trying to push it out. NQ's still the laggard today. And YM positive. So what's being more influential on the price here right now? Yeah, well, when they all go up, they all go up. But when the Dow is going down, it's just the Dow. Or sorry, the NASDAQ. Yeah, that's the end of that trade. By the way, how's our robots doing? Didn't take anything. Well, I'll be right back. See, I think they're going to have a difficult time getting through this 25-26 area, but we're obviously not getting this very well. So I'm going to bail here and switch accounts because I clearly got nothing today. Look at the treasury pushing up as the E-mini pushes up. Can you get some flow in here? Sure. Oh, man, they came back there so fast in the E-mini, didn't they? See, I think that just my overall strategy here has been wrong because it's been rattling between these 2 points quite a bit already, right? So I was never going to get a target either way. See that? The market orders are still to the sell side, though. Okay. Does this still fall out from Yellen or the jobs number? So I wouldn't necessarily read it as fallout, but is that going to be a key component of why it's trading the way that it is? Sure. I don't think that the jobs number was that bad. I mean, all of the analysis that I've seen, the more professional analysis has been that it was just because of seasonal adjustments that the number looked bad and that it's not as bad as the headline number appears. But the popular financial media did not pick up on that. So could there be people trading off of it because of that? For sure. I do see some sort of connection between the interest rates and what the E-mini is doing here too. Overall, though, like the thing that I'm noticing is that it's just being tough, right? Like the E-mini is moving around a lot. The treasury is being pretty stingy. They're not giving any easy fills in the treasury. S&P Financials, healthcare, materials, and industrial indices all trade at record highs. See, look at this. It's kind of, it's getting volatile. The issue is that kind of volatility can cause it to flip back up. So there, finally. See, like a lot has traded at 28.5 in the 10-year, but there's hardly been any fills at 28 or 29. Well, 28.5 has got a bigger stack on it now. When it ticks down, there's definitely a lot more order shuffling, though, isn't there? Yeah, okay. Somebody is working the market here, probably. How long has it been doing that for? Has it been doing that the whole time? No, only since it's gotten down here. Okay. Whoever it is that's doing this and whatever it is that they're doing, I think that they're getting a lot of good volatility to work their order. By the way, the dollar did touch the 90 level and bounced off of it. Funny thing is, volatility isn't pricing in NQ, really. Well, I think that so if we come, I removed it. Where is it? This thing right here. YM is leading all of the assets right now, even gold and copper. That kind of suggests to me that it's not outright negative. It's more specific sectors. It's more like Tesla is screwed, and maybe not necessarily everybody else. I don't think I could get away with it at 28.5 there again. Let's see. They're trying to push through. Ooh, you see that? They got tracked down hard there in the Treasury. Curse you, but Kathy Wood. Yeah, it's all Kathy Wood's fault. Yesterday Fauci was saying we might be able to be easing restrictions. And now Fauci's saying it's possible that mask mandates could last indefinitely to fight flu. Is this, you see, this is exactly what I've been saying, isn't it? He just wants us to wear the masks all the time. He would have been having us wearing masks for the last 30 years if he could have his way. For the last 30 years and for the next 30 years, because he just thinks that masks is good public policy. It doesn't have anything to do with the current issue at hand. To fight the flu, come on. We better read that, make sure that I'm not taking him out of context. During his appearance on Meet the Press, Fauci was asked when Americans could take the masks off, given that the CDC is now advising vaccinated Americans that they can remove their face coverings when outside. At what point, if vaccinated people get together, do you take the mask off? Are masks going to be something we have with us in a seasonal aspect? Todd asked Fauci. You know, that's quite possible. I think people have gotten used to the fact that wearing masks, clearly, if you look at the data, diminished respiratory diseases. I don't think that that's true, but okay. We've had practically a non-existent flu season this year merely because people were doing the kinds of things, public health things that were directed predominantly against COVID-19. People know everybody is wearing masks and distancing, so people want to come up with things that are good about it. Only ugly people want everyone to wear masks. I gotta say, like, just ignoring the science about whether or not they're effective or not. This guy has there's politics involved in it. You can't tell me that guy is not saying things based on politics. And if he could convince everybody to wear them till the end of time, I think he would. Well. Okay, so they did make a higher high. Does kind of look like the E-mini is going to pull this one out. I don't know if I'm still kind of hesitant to participate in it. It is beyond my spot. I don't know. Again, adverse excursion, huh? Yep. Come on in the water to see. I'm not quite sure what's going on here in the Treasury. That might have just been them screwing around with us. That, 3 or 4 ticks down, and now it's right back up there again. Easy. Easy peasy. Maybe he just did that because he really wants 29, Oof. Looks like we're going to miss this one. They did kind of seem like they kind of did misquoted him there in the zero hedge story, though, doesn't it? So the question was more, are masks going to be something we have with us in a seasonal aspect? And Fauci said, I think that's quite possible. I say no thanks. I hate wearing a mask. That's so uncomfortable. So you notice that we've gotten back up here, that it's still doing the choppy chop. He's not working the book as hard, but it's still there too. So, oops. There we go. It's like, it seems like we are still getting like the sell first and then buy the dip, but it's like it takes longer and longer each time. You know what I mean? Sure, what it feels like to me. Man, the baby sounds so unhappy. He must be so hungry. I'm dying, Mom. If you don't give me that right this instant, I might pass out and die. Higher lows. Yeah, it's everything looks tilted to the upside at the moment, but you just got to remember that trend can change at any moment, right? Not really, to be honest with you, I'm not really being given anything over here in the E-mini that gives me a really strong indication about which direction it's going to end up on today. I'm just kind of placing a bet and trying to manage the risk and let it go. But you can see it's being difficult. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to use the chop to increase the amount of risk I can take on. Well, there you go. The treasuries took that 29 pretty handily that time. I don't know if it can hold that 29 at the moment. Trade's probably better to buy that or buy that 09 or 14 3/4 in the 5-year. Ba-dum. Yeah, when it pivots, it sure pivots fast, doesn't it? Like when they're down there at the low and they push and then it's done and all of a sudden it's like 8 ticks back up really, really quick. Does your multi-time frame, higher time frame indicator work with Renkos? Yes, it would. Because it is the bar type, not the time frame type. And Renko is like the time frame type, right? So you could combine it with any other. You could do it on range bars. You could do it on volume candles. Ouch. Okay, so there was a little bit more selling on that excursion. Well, it doesn't look like it was meaningful change in cumulative delta, but it did move down pretty hard. We're still tilted to the buy side, though. Like, I suppose it's possible that we come back down into the 24 area, bounce again. At that time, they tried to trigger all of the buying and it didn't go, and then they stopped out. Stopped out, and now small reversal. Push lower. I said 24 area. And, oh my. Let's keep an eye on this dollar. Right here. Little slip up there when they sold. Limited upside though, HF says. Yeah, I think you might be right. Well, I think it kind of looks limited to both sides, doesn't it? But that's where I kind of get to go into this, like, you know, it seems like if either side really broke that it could move hard. I suppose, though, that for a Monday, it doesn't necessarily have to do that. Ouch. Can't catch a break today, can we? Buyers in shambles. Well, they're not past like their point of no return or anything. They have to say the selling is pretty persistent though, right? Oh, look at that, yeah. In fact, kind of got another one of those ones where we got a good spot in the queue and there's probably no way that we ever get filled on it. I don't know. Like, it does. So the action has definitely changed all of a sudden with that down move because they would have been able to bounce all the way back up to 42.24 already by now, right? The selling is still overwhelming them. And I don't think, well, there's definitely some stops up in the 25 area. Like, there was the 500s there, right? But I bet you there's way more below us. Well, let's see them. What happens? It looks like they're destined to test that low. I mean, they're already testing that. They're one tick off of the low there. And make sure. Oh, also, I got to make sure I keep my eyes over here because the micros is moving more than it should. Okay, and they took 29.5 there. See, there's no way you can get filled on a buy anywhere here in the treasuries, but now the opportunity is lost. I could just have this out of sync, so let's like reset that. Okay. By the way, whatever has been working the book down here hasn't gone away either, so. Come on. Another touch of the low. Only 4 into that one, though. $20. Yeah. Now look in the treasuries here. It's getting thick. There you go. Okay. Now that's interesting. Okay, so I got my fill on the downside, so that kind of helps. Or rather, I finally got one. Oh, they're gonna try and retrace back to the scene of the crime, eh? Well, given where we're at and where we were on Friday and everything, a retrace back to 4,200 would be pretty reasonable, right? Certainly, I would say that that last move up to 28 would normally have been the buy the dip, miracle that you'd basically get every day. And that failed. So it could still buy the dip and recover, but it's been really binary lately, right? We're just kind of guessing here, but Treasury sure seems thick to me, though. Okay. Do detect a little bit of steepening in the curve going on here, by the way, when we fell. 8:30. Well, you can stick around for another 30 minutes. Just while we're at it, make sure you click that like button. It helps the channel out a ton. I've got a video out today. Haven't made a video since like February. So check that link out. Watch the video all the way through and click the like button. Helps the channel out immensely. 12-minute video about developing strategies, doing research for developing strategies. What else we got here? Check all the links in the video description. We've got my indicator package, speculatorsnet.com. We've got our Discord. You can buy mugs. The nice thing for you guys that are here every day. If you're here every day, you don't have a mug. I don't, you know, how can you handle that? Being here every day and seeing that mug on the screen every day and not wanting one. Come on. What is wrong with you? No, just kidding. And the Patreon for our Bitcoin valuation oscillator. And then got links to my TikTok and Twitter. I need to come up with more good ideas for Steve. I haven't posted very much for Steve lately, but we'll come up with something. Okay, so the E-mini kind of doing the little bit of the dead cat bounce there was not very impressive. They're gonna push down another leg just right away. Let's see. Well, there's the low again. It's not like full. That's not okay. Few stops. Not too bad. Not too bad, but some of that volume to me looks more like trend following than it does stops. Bloomberg reports bond traders lift U.S. 5-year inflation outlook to highest since 2006. Latest increase comes amid a bump up in gasoline prices. Inflation outlook has been helped by U.S. growth prospects. Massive Amazon fake review scam exposed in data breach. Oy, of course. Of course all of those reviews are fake. I really wonder how much of what we see online is really fake, you know? I was reading this thing the other day that like if you have a blue check mark on Twitter, that there are like these groups that you can join and they're all, you know, blue check marks and they help you get more engagement on your posts. Isn't that crazy? It's not crazy. You should expect it, but it's kind of mildly infuriating, isn't it? People already doing well on social media colluding to increase their influence. And I wonder if they participate in burying too. I bet you that there is some degree of that. Well, there are definitely political operatives out there participating in organized burying. Yeah, getting some decent flow between 29 and 29.5 here. There you go. That's nice. I like it. I like it. Public Health England says new analysis shows individuals who receive a single dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine have approximately 80% lower risk of death with COVID-19 compared with unvaccinated individuals.
Block cell.
Block cell. Why would you do that? Why? How much was it? 30.52 at 29.5. They really want it to stick around there, don't they? Even, I mean, look, they're still selling it. Look at that. I mean, there's a pretty good. That was a stop run right there for sure. That break of new lows, and now it's kind of holding again. Almost as though they ran out of sellers, maybe? I don't know. Kind of seeing some absorption across the curve at 29.5. Bitcoin falling down pretty hard today. It's gone down another few hundred while we've been watching today. Oh man, don't let me lose track of time. I'm looking there, it's like, we got 20 minutes left. Buyers trying to pull it out. I don't know, guys. The dollar did take a little dive there, didn't it? I didn't realize. The dollar hasn't really been in line with these falls. So these falls haven't really been, well, I guess they're maybe attached a little bit to gold and silver declining a little bit there. So it kind of looks to me more like a collapse in risk sentiment than it is anything else. Turn them treasuries being thick. Jim Kramer says many retailers are very strong today and GME very weak. Any ideas why? Question mark. He already has 84 comments on that. Geez. I guess it's been up for 5 minutes. I guess Twitter is being slow today. Wonder if another round of steepening is going to come in here. I mean, look, there's a good amount. That's where they've been stuck, and this is where they've been stuck. That 30-year hasn't really been trading as much. Kind of suggests to me this is the one that's pushing it up. The 5-year. Al Abundant. Why are people freaking out over Fauci saying that mask wearing might be seasonal? It's a cinch. The many bluer areas will see a meaningful degree of voluntary masking this fall, if not at the same levels as voluntary. You think it's going to be voluntary? Ha ha ha! That's funny. Darn. Well, there was another break of the low. Not really seeing flight to safety kind of behavior as it does it, though. Oof. Clicky, clicky, down, down, down. Ouch. So that one rolled all the way back up to the same spot, but it was an even further excursion. So, like, I'm going to say slightly increased volatility through that. NQ negative 211 points, pretty good indicator. Bears won. Well, it's not about whether Bears won. I mean, they won for now. It's a question of how far they're going to get, right? The cumulative delta is without a doubt. We've down 8,000 contracts over this session. No question, more market selling than market buying. No question about that. How far are they going to get? Maybe they're buying every dip and then, well, probably they are. I mean, I see kind of some indications that there's some aggressive buying trying to hold it, huh? Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more reasonable of a spread going here. It is steepening. Ouch. Treasury not going to buy that, huh? So perhaps they are not flying to the treasury or the dollar. Where would they be going, though? Where are they going? I don't see any. I don't actually. Well, what's up? Gold is up. YM is still positive. Curioso. Looks like the RTY and the NQ getting hurt the most. NQ down 1.75%. Goldman, could Friday's jobs report be signaling a much sharper slowdown? We don't think so, because the payroll of just 266 looks inconsistent with other timely indicators of labor demands. Employers might be prioritize post-pandemic hiring over the seasonal hiring. Wow, Tesla new lows? Negative 4.2%. Jeez. Maybe we should pull that up. Well, it's a little late to do it the last 10 minutes, and I'm just kind of like... I just kind of want to chill here and let this run, but... Oh, geez. Jim Cramer, check your emails taking some money out of the market. ActionAlertsPlus.com. That was at 10:27 a.m. today. So that was about an hour ago. No. That was about 10 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. But then Guru Leaks is saying that he deleted it. That was Jimmy. Jimmy, what you up to? Okay. You see that down there? This is my stop. $2K is printing down there. Treasury's still thick AF. Bloomberg Markets tweets stocks are slipping. Oh dear. Dirty move, some buyers. It kind of sounds to me like Tesla is slipping, and that's the way it matters. Now let's come back and look at the Bitcoins. Yeah, Bitcoin's still slightly down. It's not too bad. Like 5,700 isn't like a disaster, right? 5,700 not a disaster. Well, you know what? The Treasury just hates me today. I'm gonna put like full on. Yeah, actually, I still believe. I'm gonna move these down. I suspect that what may be happening here is the treasuries are going to come back a little bit because they just don't have enough oomph to get the buyers to come up there. Ever since that block sell came through in 29.5, they've been skittish about it, right? So you come back a little bit, and then maybe they can move up again, and maybe we can see more of a flight to safety trade. It's a little curious to me though that as well. I guess it's. I mean, is it a dramatic decline in stocks? I mean, we're still above Friday's levels, for instance. Like Friday, we started at around 4,200, so that's where I was like, well, 4,200 wouldn't be unreasonable, right? For now, though, especially since I only got like 10 minutes left. Jeez. Really? I'm gonna... Alright, well... The 10, you just see the 10-year to like really push. Well, even with as great of a winner as I ended up catching, I wasted so much trying to catch something that it wasn't particularly great. Wasn't particularly great. Well, I think that this is just kind of more telling me either I need to find, well, I need to go back through and look at all my stuff. Do I have something that performs well during all of that? Because at the moment, this just kind of looks like risk off, and that it may not be the best spot to be trading outrights. Like, if it was really going down, then that would be a different issue if we can like catch an early sell and just hold it. But it's been a very messy decline, right? So this kind of smacks of like institutional selling with disagreement in the market. And in a situation like that, well, we could try pulling out what do we call them? We could try calling out starts with an S. Yeah, I can't even remember now. Can't even remember what I called the algo. Wait. I'll look it up. I'm gonna look it up. No, it wasn't that one. Sean. We could try pulling out Sean. Sean might have been able to do okay on this. Let's do that. Tomorrow we'll add Sean on and see how he does. Sheila. Nope, I don't got a Sheila. We can make a Sheila. Sean would have probably... Let's see here. Yeah, I think that Sean probably could have made a good amount of money on these moves back and forth earlier before things really fell. You know, by the way, look, the E-mini is coming back. Like, I good call. I got out at 20. Oh, did I get out early? No. 15.50. Yeah, so I got out down here. So good call. Seeing the absorption. Doesn't mean that the move is done for the day, but treasuries did come back a little bit. We'll see. I probably let that one wait till the close and see if it works out, but I might just get frustrated with it and just dump it. I don't know. Clearly, though, what I'm doing in the treasuries, not quite all there. Let's see here. If I come back, how bad was it without this trade? Without this one. Well, I did get, let's see here. Okay, wait. filter editor. Let's first Z. Okay, so I did get some favorable. So let's count that as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, -1, -2, -1, -2. So -2 overall. Probably some of these could have been scratched. Well, I think that almost every single one of these could have been scratched. So we could be sorting it out that way, but we need to get more winners here. And it's just noticing that not very many of these gave me favorable ticks. You know, like, well, the ones that won, I guess, should be favorable, but yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. So I was not getting a good trade when I did it. Maybe what I'm doing really does require more volume than I've been letting on. Maybe I need to just find a less responsive instrument. Maybe I could go on the small exchange and do the dollar index. That might work. I don't know, but it's time for me to go, guys. Last thing, you check the links in the video description, but make sure that you check out the video that we got out today. Haven't posted a video in a while, so it's important we get that video out and that it does well. So thank you guys very much. A good amount of people viewing today, sticking around, so I'm feeling pretty good about that, even though today's, Mondays aren't very good for me anyways, so we'll see where we go from here. I kind of, was kind of still torn between whether I want to start putting some risk on or not. I usually don't do terribly well in May, and with the way this is going, I suppose I should probably hold off on that, huh? And then we wait for the summer and see if crazy stuff happens over the summer. All right, guys. Hey, it's looking like some okay up move, but they might turn around here. Who knows? I can't. This is just, it's kind of guessing here. The whole game here in the E-mini right now, I think, is managing your risk, really. And a lot of the time, that might just mean staying out, right? So, hey, I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.